Hi, Carol here. A warm welcome to my craft room. It seems like forever I've had a video up. I apologize for that, but life has gotten in the way. But I'm back, and look at that. So is my Coca-Cola. Well, yes, if you see that Coca-Cola, I really don't have to say welcome to my craft room because I think you know who it is, right? So here's the stamp platform by Tim Holtz. I'm sure you've watched a lot of videos on it by now, but I have discovered just a couple of ways that I found this platform works for me. I have used my Misties. I have the mini Misty and the other two Misties, and I use them regularly because it gives you a nice stamped image with the door closing. But not every door is the same. Not every toothbrush is the same. Not every broom's the same. Not every this, that, and the other. We always find something that is an added bonus. So let me share this little haul with you. Yes, a little haul. I got this from Amazon in the mail for $8. I couldn't resist. Jane Davenport's Faces book. I've wanted it forever, and I have just skimmed through the pages. I haven't had time. I literally yesterday was the first day after having that Tim Holtz platform for since Tuesday. I just opened it up and played with it yesterday. That's, how crazy busy I've been. Then you throw a couple of migraines and bronchitis in there, and that's what my last week and a half has been like, I tell you. But I couldn't wait to get this little haul, just a little haul, because I am shopping in my own craft room. I did order this, and I'll tell you why. It was $8 on Amazon, just $8. And then I think it was $4 for shipping. So I couldn't not get it, right? And I love to draw, so this is perfect. And I can improve greatly on drawing faces for sure. Yes, and I love this whimsical style of faces. It can add to any project. So I'm going to read it cover to cover, probably a couple of times, and then I will attempt to take Jane's advice on all this yumminess in this book. Sherry and I went over to Creativity in Port Colborne, and it was, I think, Tuesday. I picked up the Tim Holtz platform, and I was really excited, but then I got a migraine after that, so I didn't get it out till yesterday to actually play with it. But I'm going to share, I put my video down in slow-mo because I wanted to just share the items and explain why I got these, because I am shopping in my own craft room, as we all know. Look at, I'm showing you the diamond was missing off the top of that. I'm going to, yeah, it it's not going to mean a hill of beans when it gets put away, but I did notice that. And I do like that top, so I may have to check in with Brenda and see if there's a missing, if my missing diamond is still in the store. So I just bought 4 of these Nouveau. They were $4.25 each, I think, Canadian. So I bought 4 because I have the black and the white and 2 other colors. So that makes my collection up to 8. And I am improving. Remember when I used to, back in the day, whenever anything came out, I used to run out to buy them all. And I do have that, full set syndrome, of course. But now in the last year, I've been shopping in my own craft room. And I can tell you something. I realized I don't need it all. Only some things I do. Like Prisma pencils. I don't want to buy them one at a time. Or my Copics. I wanted to have the full set. Things like that. That you get a good buy, and you have to get things when you can afford them. And you have to wait until it is an extremely good buy if you're going to buy in full sets. So I decided on these Nouveau drops to get them a few at a time. Now, when I walked in the door, there was a table with sales in there, and so we checked that out. Yeah, you know what I'm doing here? My glue, my Nouveau glue. I'm going to replace the lid of one of them and put it on my Nouveau, just the one that I use. I'm going to pop the diamond off and put it in there. Yeah, I guess it does bother me if I'm checking that out. And excuse me, yeah, this bronchitis still is set. It's still not leaving. I don't like that at all. But I can talk now. One day I actually had laryngitis. I was going to do the edit and I couldn't even talk. So that wouldn't have made for a very good video, right? Yeah, so I'm putting that aside, and I don't think I needed to slow it up this much, but I wanted to share something with you. I got these for $1.25. You know the Signo pens that we like so well, the white ones, the white Signo pen? Well, and this is a 2B pencil. It is, well, actually, it's charcoal. And I've wanted this particular one for drawing. So it was there and it was on sale half price. So I picked that up. And then the Signo pens, I got one in silver, one in blue, and one in green. Because for brush lettering, if you do the faux brush lettering, these pens, the white one on black, they're amazing. And for writing inside, sentiment cards and things, then these Signo pens are wonderful. So I only paid $1.25 each. That's a really good buy. And I really liked the colors that came out of these. Silver, you can't go wrong. And the blue is kind of metallic-y. And then, of course, you had to get the gold, right? I couldn't figure out when I was there whether I had the gold, and when I got home, I did, but now I have a spare because for $1.25, that's a good deal. I wish they had had the white ones for that price. Yeah, I would have cleaned that up. And this I didn't get on sale right here, but I love blender pens, and mine seem to be needing some assistance because I've contaminated the ones that I do have with different colors, so I do have to fix those up. But they had the Dove blender pen, and I've heard great things about this one, so I thought I'd give that a try. And like I said, I think I slowed this down to normal. Like it's not really slow. It's just at the normal level, so I could chit chat. So there's my Dove blender pen. I love blender pens, and mine have need of some attention because I've intermingled and contaminated them with color. But you can fix that, so I have to take time to do that. Now, this palette knife I thought was interesting. It's very soft on the metal part. Okay, Carol, I don't know what you're doing here. I guess just bear with me. Yes, I must have been thinking about something and then thought I'd just re-show it. But anyway, yeah, so I've been cleaning up my craft room. Now, as a hoarder, as a craft hoarder, there's different types of craft hoarders, like I told you in the last video. I don't hoard and I'm an organized hoarder, if there's such a thing. Look at this palette knife. The ends of them are very soft, which the metal, which I thought was really unique for getting into corners if you're going to do some stenciling work with your mixed media paste. And I just liked it for some reason, even though it didn't have the lift on it like normal knives do, palette knives. They lift up so you don't get, you're not laying it down when you're doing a project. So, okay, I'll explain these and then I'll get back to my cleaning extravaganza there. I was going to actually tape it. Then I thought, how boring would that be? Somebody watching you clean up your craft room. I don't know. I don't think I could do that. But anyway, this was tissue rub-ons, and it was $9.75 Canadian. And I thought it was different because with mixed media, I do love the fact that you have tissue paper, because I use pattern tissue paper for projects. But this one, it said transfer paper. I don't understand that, whether you transfer this onto something and then you use the tissue. I'm not quite sure. I got sick right after I picked up right after I went shopping. That should have told me something. Because I have been very good. You have to admit, I have been shopping in my own craft room, and trying not to spend money frivolously on things that I really don't need. And I needed this, right? I really did. And if truth be known, I really don't need this, but I thought I would give it a go. It was just so interesting. I've never seen tissue transfer sheets before, so I thought I'd try it. And then there were a few stamp sets like this one that were half price. So I had to get it because I love croissants. Croissants, yes. And this was a 3-stage stepping stamp, which is nice. It had the blueberries and the strawberries, and they're a really good size. The fruit is 2-step stamping, but the croissant in itself is 3. And I thought I don't know, that'll just make for a yummy card. Excuse the pun. And then this Lawn Fawn die, I have the stamp set to this, and I didn't order the die because the stamp set and matching dies now are ridiculously high priced, and so I thought I could fussy cut that, but when I saw it was in that 50% off bin, yeah, I'll give that a go because some projects came in my mind as I was standing there to do that. And isn't this interesting? This is Seven Gypsies, and it's sticky on the other side, and it's got that, it's kind of plasticky looking, that you take off for a mixed media piece. I thought that would be nice, and because it has that nice plastic on it, you could really spray it and get a few uses out of it with your inks, your ink sprays. And these Tim Holtz roses, they are gorgeous. Just small little, they're not cloth, they're whatever you call them there. It'll come to me in a minute. And here's another sticker element with the quills. And I thought they were gorgeous. And I had to try that. That's Seven Gypsies on, a mixed media spread. And then this is new. This is new out, I think. It wasn't on sale. But penguins. I mean, really, I love penguins. And it's a 3-stage stamping. The hat's 2-stage. And I thought I'd get a lot of use out of that. So I picked up the die for $7. You get the penguin die and the hat die included. So that was nice. I didn't really do very much shopping, just a little bit. After shopping in my own craft room the last year, it really has brought things into perspective as far as projects that I can use what I have. I don't need to be shopping. I don't need to be buying more things. The odd thing is nice because it refreshes your inspiration to do something different, like that croissant stamp, to mention one. But anyway, that's the tiny haul. Now, Basic Gray has the best magnets. I love them, especially for card making because they're almost totally flat, but they have the magnetized part that they have is so magnetized it's crazy. And I like these little ones because they're flat. Look at them. I'm chasing them all over. But the project, yeah, I'm having fun with that. I'm trying to figure out if they're all positive like they say, You need a positive and negative to close things on envelopes, or if you're making albums, I use these because they're flat. Now, when I was looking at this platform, I thought, you know what? I want to have my own corners. I don't want to buy any corners. I don't want to spend any more money. Well, I obviously had to spend some money to make these corners, but it only cost me $3.99 American. And I've been thinking about this for a while, knowing that I was going to buy the stamp platform, and that is to buy a geometrical set. You can probably get them at the Dollar Tree, Dollar Store, now that school is going back in and supplies are coming out. But I intentionally went into my stationery store to see if they had any, and regularly they were $11.99, and they had them on sale for $3.99 for the whole set. So I thought that was fabulous. And yeah, look at the way that they packaged this. I thought it was awesome. Like, talk about like care, Once I get my muscles working there, look at And you can use everything here on a project. Yes, I'm going to put this away because right away you can see that you have a window frame. It's beautiful. So as I'm going through this, I'm just going to show you some of the little things I liked about this platform. Now, it's not a comparison because obviously you can see you have the mini MISTI. The numbers on the MISTI are nice and bright, which is nice. And I think it's 6.5 by 8.5, 6 by 8.5 for the large one that I have. I have the two large ones there. And that's nice too, but you can see that they all have a ledge. That means you have to have that foam to bring it up to stamp certain things, and then you have to take everything out to stamp the red rubber stamps, and which is fine. See how they one is the first one they came up with, the black one. See, I haven't even taken off the cover yet. And the one thing I like is that the Tim platform cover isn't etched, which means that your inks and everything that you use, yeah, see how it's cracked around the edges there? Yeah, so I don't want to press down too hard on that. So anyway, and then the newer one, this one on the top, uh, the etch I think is on the inside, something like that. I can't remember, but it is etched, and the Tim Holtz platform isn't. I love the way it opens. I have no problem at all. On the MISTI, I was able to get the new MISTI free of charge. That's why I have the second one because, excuse me, don't walk on my platform. You knew I was going to throw him in, didn't you? So here it tells you whether to turn it to the rubber stamps or whether to keep it on your photopolymer. And it is a smooth transition. I love it. I love 8.5 by 8.5 real estate on this is magnificent. To the right and to the bottom, you have no ledge, which means on your stamps, you can put them out as far as you want. You're not going to have an issue with an edge where you have to constantly, yeah, go inside. This is 8.5 by 6.25, I think, on the MISTI. And that is fine. If you make A2 size cards, it's terrific. But when you do mixed media pieces and you're working with larger sheets of paper and you need more real estate room and you like the fact that there's no indent on the right side or the bottom, it doesn't go, oh, here the one thing to mention, the magnets on the Tim Holtz platform are larger than the MISTI magnets, so you have to find a washi just a little wider. So I got that settled in, and then you're going to need to have something to bump your card up. So the Tim Holtz platform gives you that on the left hand side so that you can position your cardstock. It has a nice groove in there. You have plenty of room to set the cardstock to begin. Now let's get back to the DIY corners. I wanted to make some corners for my platform without having to spend a lot of money, any money actually, but I did have to spend $3.99 Canadian to get my geometry set here. And that is wonderful because look at, I get my another stencil, then I get two angled pieces, and I get the half circle. I'm going to get a lot of use out of that, and the ruler, which I will get a lot of use out, and the rest I will put aside because I actually do use this so for different projects, for making circles and things. So this is for taking border stamps. You can position it perfectly with a half circle geometrical piece here, your plastic, whatever you want to call this thing. Yeah, excuse me. So what I wanted to do was, which side do I want to put my magnets on? That's what I was trying to figure out. So I got out all my negative magnets, and we're going to seat them on here. So I did pick out the blue. They did have it clear, but I wanted to see the ruler on there because obviously you know with the with these type styles, it has the 0 mark, and then you can position it very easily for putting down stamp sets like sentiment stamps. That's what I was saying, that you can get them perfectly aligned with the numbers on the top there. And then if you want it smaller, you just drag it down on your card base, which makes it, you know, the circle not so circular. And anyway, so I placed them exactly where I wanted it, and it isn't moving. I shook my Tim Holtz platform. It wasn't going anywhere. So I'm going to put the magnets on these edges, and I love the fact that this right-hand side is free, that your card base can go out wide. So the real estate, you can do 2 cards at one time without having to worry. You can set all your stamps, especially red rubber stamps, outside the platform and not, you know, only get a half stamp, a quarter stamp, whatever you want stamped there. You're not worried about having it butt up against, you know, a perfect square, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? It has nothing there. Yeah, the real estate's open on the right and on the bottom. So here I took out the magnets and I'm going to put them down on my set here. And these, I'm telling you, these magnets are so magnetized, and you just need the negative portions. So that was great. Now, after I seat that, you're going to see that I'm going to have right angles, and I'm going to be able to match up my cards, especially if you make interactive cards that have different folds on it. You'll be able to use these. I'm going to show you a few projects later on using them. But I thought, okay, I did want the circular one, first of all, for the die set or the stamp sets that I have that are border dies. It's wonderful that you can just shape them, the photopolymer ones, according to your half circle corner. Well, it's not a corner, it's a half circle. And look at that. It is truly magnetized. Look at that, magnetized. And then we're going to put the magnets on this one, and it's going to have a lot of uses, which I will show you in future videos. I just wanted to show you that if you were looking for some corners and you wanted an economical way of getting it, the basic gray magnets work perfectly because they're flat, and that's what I needed. And on these sets, because they have the grid, they're raised just enough so that when I put the magnets on, they're perfectly flat on the surface, which is wonderful. And not having the bottom portion, you know, with that opening, you don't have the indent in it, it's going to help you seat your cards if you don't want them to move for a certain reason. Yeah, there you have it. This set generally runs you about $6 online, US, I think. I was checking it out because I thought, wow, $3.99 Canadian is a good deal. And this is a 45-degree angle set right here. So you have, you know, your 30 degrees and your 60 degrees. So 30 to 60 degree. And the ruler I'm going to put magnets on because that is really going to come in handy. I don't know if I did that. I was just testing this out to see if they would stay, and they do. And then I'm going to just give you a little view, because I'm sure you know how to put border dies or sentiment dies on your cardstock. So here I took out a set that I had, and it had a long enough straight border that I could put on it. And here I'm just lining it up. Okay, how far do I want to have it? And on the ruler, you can place it perfectly, or use your cardstock on the bottom, whatever you want to do. And here I've got it laid out. This is, I think, a road. I was using it for a road. That's why I bought that set. And just lift it up. Now, the one thing I like is you remove the top. So if you do videos, you don't have to worry that that thing is out of line like I'm doing here. I just take it off, and I'll do all my stamping right on the platform lid. I'll set the bottom aside. That way I can use inks, I can use paints, I can use markers. I can use whatever I want, and then when I'm ready to stamp, I'll clip it back into place. And like I'm showing you here, I took it off, I'm stamping it. I'm using the Catherine Pooler inks. They're wonderful, and they're nice and vivid, so I'm showing you here. And I only had to stamp it one time to get a beautiful image with the photopolymer. I didn't need to have a foam pad, nothing. It is perfect, perfectly spaced. And there you have it. Look at that. And that's all you have to do with your sentiment dies. And I love that it clips off. You can do whatever kind of inking, painting, markering you want. You can do 2 cards at one time because you have all that real estate to work with on there. And I just wanted to show you just a quick do-it-yourself this is called Staedtler Mars if you're looking it up. They're very inexpensive. I love you can wipe it down with anything because nothing on here is etched in stone, so to speak. Yes. And the second thing is lifting that platform right out and working with it by itself. And then when you're ready to make the contact with your paper, slide it back in the grooves and stamp it. Isn't that wonderful? So there you have it. I'm just putting this back in. I did this late last night. I wanted to quickly put the video up for you this morning so that if you are looking to have any corners, this is an inexpensive way to do it. And I'm glad I was able to share that with you today. Thank you so much for joining me with my little wee haul. And I'm going to get another video up today with my card sets. I actually... yeah, I'm not even going to, I needed these corners there for what I'm going to do, so it worked out perfectly. Then you just place them in there. You turn your lid around. Even if you have it on the position where it's for photopolymer stamps, it doesn't interrupt it at all. They don't rub up against the platform. I hope that this was helpful with the DIY corners here, and I'm looking forward to getting another tutorial up today and getting it edited. Yes, getting an edit done. How's that? Isn't this beautiful? I just love it. I love it. I love it. Love everything about it. I love the way it opens, especially on the bottom like that. You have a nice full ledge. So anyway, I hope you have a nice full weekend. Have a blessed weekend. And I will see you on the next tutorial. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for your wonderful comments. They mean so much. Take care, everybody.